conversation because some people asked that we record this, those who are not able to join. So we are going to record, and I believe that you also love that. So Jonathan Kivendu, karibu sana, and speak to these people. They are eager. They are looking forward.
Wow. Thank you, Eunice, and the entire Nuru team through the chair, Bwana Mungai. It's a privilege for having me to come to speak to you. I have actually looked very quickly about the attendees, and I have seen some people who have very long kept secrets about my life. One of them was my roommate in campus, who is also a banker.
Can they say hi?
Well, they will come to say hi. I see Daktari, some of the people here. So I am very honored to speak to you, and I don't want to do this academically. I just want us to have a conversation, you know, because sometimes it is very easy to be lost in the grammar of issues. So let me run you for about 5 minutes about how fast to engage the bank, why we fail. Then I go to what I consider the meat for the day, which is alternative sources. A lot of people go to fill forms in the bank. Please don't. Go to the bank, collect the form, see what they are looking for, then you build your case and discuss with your relationship manager. So how you build your case for funding is the first sign of success. Number 2, conceptualization of the business idea. If you write a long story, a prose which does not show where you are beginning, what is the profit, what is the impact, that is why we have concept notes. Very short, 1-pager, which tells the entire story. So a lot of people are going to these banks with 60-page business plans, which nobody gets to read, when a pager could do. Number 3, sorry, the consistency of the business. Meaning this might include even how long you have been in business. So begin to show that I began in 2017. I achieved this. I achieved this in 2018, 2019. Build a case to build confidence. Banks do not just finance business. They finance their own confidence in the business. Please mark that. Banks do not finance your business. They finance their own confidence in the business you're presenting to them. So until they have confidence, you are not going to be funded. Number 4, your cash flows. I know there are many people who are advising people, don't bank your money, Ruto is watching, do not use the bank, whatnot. I can assure you, in Kenya, if anybody wants to catch you how you spend your money, they will not need to look further than M-Pesa. So talk to your heart and begin to leave footprint where your money is going so that you have some evidence of cash flow. There are a few banks that are okay with M-Pesa statements plus bank statement, but there are still other banks that would want to see bank transactions. So make sure that you are digitally registered. So even if it is your money, you can incur some cost of putting the money in the account and then drawing it to M-Pesa, but leave some footprint so that you do not have to bring a lot of torn books to show how much money you make. Banks don't believe anything outside the formal transactions. So cash flow is important. Whether Ruto will catch up with you or not, leave evidence that you are actually money. And I have been saying this so I can mention this. A lot of times we have been looking at people in terms of their bank statement and how much payee they have, but banks are changing. That my mother who is in the village could be having better cash flow than me because my brother sends money by M-Pesa, my sister, the cousin. So when you have a lot of those cash flow issues, you stand a better chance to make the banks happy. Number 5, compliance issues. A lot of people are going for tax compliance clearance when they are looking for a loan. Please go for it way before and keep renewing. Internal compliance. If you have said you have committees in your board, where are the minutes? Banks want to see that you comply with what you have set yourself to. if your board is said to be meeting every quarter, please show those evidences and minutes. Even if you write all the minutes and they are signed to be kept, whether you met or not, but show compliance. Then company registry. A lot of people do not renew. They register with everything else. They register with everything else, but they forget to register with the company registry. I think it is important. I think, Jen, you can unmute or something, but we still go on. I am assuming you are hearing me, Eunice?
Yes, you're very clear.
Okay,
yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah.
Then the company registry, you know, there are those annual returns for the company. Most SMEs are registered as companies, and people do not make returns annually. Please make those returns. They are not expensive, but they matter when you apply. Municipal licenses. Banks are required by law as agents of KRA not to finance businesses that are not formally registered by municipal council. So that certificate of Nairobi County, of Nyandarua County, of Kakamega might look like it's a waste of money, but please have it. It will save you when you're looking for money. Collaterals, what any bank will be looking for, what are you giving them if they give you money? And what are they looking for in the collateral? Adequacy, appropriateness, is it appropriate? How is it easy to sell? The responsibility, the ease of perfection, will you take years to perfect it? All those are things that you need to consider. Then I come to the last two, which are juicy for me. The character of the SME is founders and employees. This is where the bank look for CRB listing. So if you are bringing a director on board, ask them to come along with their CRB report. Otherwise, they might restrict your ability to borrow if they are negatively listed. The other loans performance of the SME, the bills payment. Do you have postpaid? Have you put your senior managers on postpaid and you don't pay on time? All those things and the credit cards, they matter to the banks. So please clear that, and you are going to do. Then there is some softer issue the bank has begun looking recently. How much drawings by the SME founder? Are you getting the money from the business and they don't see the money coming back? That is a red flag to the banks. Then betting patterns. When you give your M-Pesa statement, are they going to be seeing sure bet everything? When banks see these kind of things, they get very worried. Then finally, under what the bank, why the bank is concurrence with the bank's lending strategy. You do not go to a bank that is heavy on agriculture and you are proposing building houses. So it's important for you to do that. And I think for now, I would want to rest that matter there so that I can spend another like 10 minutes on what practical alternative sources of funds. I know I'm going pretty quickly, but these notes have already been shared with Nuru. So I think Nuru will be able to give you the notes later on, so that you don't have to kill yourself writing. Let me begin. I have split this in three ways. Some of the first way is sources from within the business. The secondary issue I'm considering is funds, sources of funds that are supported by the owners of the business. And then finally, the sources outside the two entities. So let me begin with the sources from within the business itself. Sources within the business itself. One of it is sale of shares. You see, like we have been saying, a lot of us in business, we are wondering, is our interest ownership or profit? By the way, that's a question I would want to answer. SMEs seem to be lost. Is it what you are looking legacy ownership of the business, or are you looking for profit and growth? That's a question I would want you to think about. And the biggest impediment, the majority of SMEs are built as legacy businesses, not more for the growth, as it were, because if it were not so, then a lot of businesses will be very big. And why am I saying this? Even as we go ahead, I'm referring to my notes. So if you see me looking outside the screen, please know I'm referring to my notes. So The stocks, some businesses are only a partnership away. You are struggling so hard when your uncle who has money but has no business proficiency would have been willing to, you come together. Please remember, the biggest businesses we have, including Safaricom, are not owned by rich people. They are owned by small business people who brought their capital together. There is no reason why your SME today could not become Safaricom tomorrow if you have the right attitude. Stop baking the queen cake that you have been hugging all along and find good structured way of inviting other people whom you trust to pull resources together with you. You don't always have to borrow money. You can sell the opportunity in your business and get money. I wish I had time to drum that home, but I believe it is already home. Then, in the event that you are not able to sell shares, then you can negotiate collateral-based financing to your business. What do I mean? Your suppliers, every business has top 3 people who give them 80% of the credit they use in their business. If you can make these top suppliers for you comfortable to give you more goods, then you might actually get credit without interest. Let me give you an example that I saw. I was doing a feasibility study on agricultural value chain, and I found Mombasa maize millers with a lot of title deeds. And I asked them, you are not a bank. Why are you having all these title deeds? They told me, these are for our depot managers. We give them unga, but they have left us with their title deed as assurance that they will not run away with our money. Have you ever thought about it? I actually saw an opportunity, and then I tried to do it with a client, and it worked. That client now, who was getting 1 million supplies maximum, is currently getting over 6 million worth of credit because they have kept a collateral worth more than 10 million. So sometimes when we get a lot of money from the bank, 50% go to diversion and other things. But when you get credit, you are only getting goods for the business. And I think that is the second thing I would want to mention. Then there is the third one, which is similar to that. It is negotiating a longer credit period with your suppliers. Many of them have been giving 14 days to 30 days. But if you can negotiate between 60 and 90 days, then your pressure for credit from the bank will really go down. But for you to do that, you must be consistent to buy from the same source. Otherwise, if you're buying from A, tomorrow B, the other day C, it might give you advantage of price, but it might not create your loyalty brand to the suppliers. So you need to negotiate a longer period. Then, let me talk about personal loans from friends and family. There are people who are saying, my money, I like it in T-bills. I want to keep my money in the money market. So if you can give these people collateral and give them a better return than what they would have gotten in the money market, say like 2%, because now the highest they are getting is about 18. If you can give them 24 plus collateral, then they are willing to give you money. And the idea is, don't go to one person to give you too much money. Create a system where you can borrow from many people, either using the same collateral through a lawyer, and I think the lawyers in Nuru can organize that, where one collateral can be kept with a benefactor, I mean with a custodian, like a lawyer, and then the lawyer is able to give assurances to the lenders that if the guy does not pay you, I'll get the collateral realized. And that I have seen a lot of. This is mostly what the Somalis do. They rarely go to the banks. The biggest communities who do well, they give a collateral to a rich benefactor in the community who gives small monies to many businesses. So everybody is happy. It is high time we begin to have those conversations. There are people with liquidity and they have no interest in business. And those are the people we should be looking for, just like the way Safaricom came to us through an IPO and we gave them money as capital. But let me talk about equity release. a lot of SMEs are, you will find SMEs are having lorries, they are having a house, they are very proud that this is our family house. The family house where you trade is worth 30 million, and you are struggling with a credit of 3 million. You are keeping a lorry that is idle most of the week, but because of the legacy issue, you still want to keep the lorry looking at it. If you can rent it, if you can hire it, then don't keep it. Release a bit of your capital. Some people here might be thinking of borrowing when they might be having 27 million at their disposal. If only they had the courage to sell those fixed illiquid assets belonging to the business. I don't know how I can persuade you, but you can try to liquidate the illiquid capital, and you'll be surprised you might not need any bank. Allow me to now go to B, sources outside the business, but within the owners, directors, and managers, who are the employees. And we are talking about here, they are just more of what I have discussed, but let's talk about preferential shares. Preferential shares is when you can be together with a partner who has more money than you, and you both have ordinary shares, and you are telling them, because you have more money, I want you to have more advantage in the business than I do, but you provide the capital. So you can make a declaration and create preferential shares, which have a fixed return to the holder and are given priority in case of business dissolution. I leave that to the lawyers to explain to you, but it's a nice way of borrowing. Then you can go as a business and say, people are looking at collateral. We do not have collateral, but our business is very liquid. We turn a lot of money annually. This is where businesses create a document called a debenture. And debenture is an instrument which assigns all the assets of the business to a lender. And so if you do not have collateral, you can actually go and say, tell you, like you're having a hardware, which is very busy, and you have at any time you have a lot of, you can go to your supplier and tell them, I'm giving you a debenture over my business because I do not have collateral. It is just a way of borrowing from outsiders if you are struggling with collateral. Then there is owner guarantee to borrow elsewhere. You can say, my business does not have assets, but me as Eunice, I have collateral. So I am giving you the collateral so that you can give my business the loan that is required. Whether it is a bank, a DFI, or an individual, you create opportunity for the SME, which it could not have been able to get if it was not supported by you, the owner of the business. And then I'm trying to go quickly. I want to spend more time on number 5, which I'm calling cheeky borrowing. Cheeky borrowing is, and Akina Hilary should not be hearing this, my friend, my senior banker from ABSA, who I've seen him. I know ABSA is part of the KMRC. So interest rates right now are very high. If you borrow normally, 20%, 22%. However, many Kenyans do not know that since the time of Uhuru Kenyatta, there was this project of mortgage financing. The mortgage financing is being managed by several banks. I think there are about 5 and some other circles here and there. And the highest interest rate on that mortgage is 9.5. So what I have seen, and I have advised one of my clients like this, and it has worked. I'll not mention the bank so that they are not sued, but they have a home, which is in the name of the husband. So the wife borrowed mortgage and was given this mortgage. So it is the husband sold the house to the wife. So they are getting liquidity at 9.5, but they don't have to build anything because it's an equity release. This is what I call cheeky. And you realize, you guys as business owners, there is that house that you really never need. You built it already, you tied your money, and you have been looking at it. So if you want to take advantage of this, maybe you should transfer the house to the person who is not likely to borrow, so that you can sell it to the spouse who is more likely to borrow. That becomes an opportunity for you to get money. And I know there are those programs. There are programs that are like we have been seeing Kenya Women, although the financing is Kenya Women, but a lot of men borrow through their women. That is cheeky borrowing. And so you need to look at your opportunities for the cheeky borrowing, where you can send your wife to go and borrow, then to bring to you as the man because the business needs it. You can use your spouse. Some of the finances are for youth. There are some business owners here who are already elderly, I believe so. And there is some money which is only available to the youth. You could go to the youth fund and borrow through your son. That is cheeky borrowing. And a lot of time, we do cheeky borrowing because it is cheaper and it is more likely to come to you. It is mostly a form of using the collateral release. Allow me to do what I would want to consider as sources outside the business owners, but not formal banking lenders, because I see our time is really not on our side. So let me begin with the circle. And I want to begin this presentation here with a key caution. Do not go to look for money when you badly need it. The best time to look for money is when you don't need it, but you have a plan for it in case it can. Let me repeat that. The best time to look for money is not when you need it. The best time to look for money is when you don't need it badly, but you have a plan for it if it can. So we are having a lot of businesses that are looking for firefighting financing. Firefighting financing is difficult to raise. And so, like the circle, if you plan to borrow 10 million next year, please begin this year by becoming a member of Steamer Circle, of Tower Circle, of Imarika Circle, and save patiently, like 2.5 million, so that if they give you 3 times or 4 times or 5 times, you will be able to see your 10 million because you had a plan for it. That is one of the ways of raising money. Don't raise it now. And that's the challenge I've seen. Most of the times I've been invited to raise money. It is people who want the money now. And it is difficult to raise that money. Then, if you are in Kenya or even Tanzania, I've seen there are some people from Tanzania, there is always a sure bet. Units return, we can return. I like it when I see faces. That's when I am sure we are on. I see Beatrice Bebo, but I can't see her face. So
can you see me?
Development finance, yes. That is now when I know we are live. Okay. So the development finance, let me mention about this, by the way. These are gems that are hidden in every country. People they chase all the banks, but they don't realize, like AFC. How many people know if you have anything agricultural, whether it is value addition, production, or anything, you can get money from AFC. And by law, they cannot charge more than 10%. When the banks are charging 22, these guys are charging at 10. And I know people say it is difficult and whatnot. It is about the approach. Take time to study what they look for and give them what they need. KDC, the Kenya Development Corporation, which is has been brought together by bringing many other lenders. They are giving money for manufacturing, for SME, for agriculture, for COVID, as it were. They are giving money to the circles, but the larger SMEs do not know. Please take time and study what KDC is doing. It might be a solution for you. KIE, the Kenya Industrial Estates, many people have not known that these guys have been lending money forever. People like Women Enterprise Fund, the cheeky borrowing, Watuanuru. I have seen you have so many ladies. You can send Eunice or even Dr. Watir, and they can get money for you from Kenya Women Enterprise Fund, Youth Fund. This development finance, and especially if you're in Tanzania, you can benefit from TADB, who are the equivalent of AFC. people like PASS who are giving guarantees and several other organizations, DFIs in any country are the small little secrets for SMEs, but many of them don't realize those secrets. Number three, it is the non-government or DFIs that are funders. You know, these guys are like Oiko Credit. You know, they give a lot of money to SMEs, but they don't shout. It is you to discover the gems and the jewels around you. Kiva has, for a long time, has been giving money through MFIs, but they have recently been, not very recently, they have fundraised money for SMEs. And I remember there is a client I helped to fundraise 150 million for them from Kiva. They are available, Jitengeme Credit, Global Partners, and others. We can have a lot of time, but please, if you can Google, and I know you are all digital savvy, look for other sources of SME financing in Africa and global. Then, allow me to go to number 4, the non-profit funders. The many SMEs like you are solving a problem which SMEs are keen on. Either you are impacting agriculture, you are selling water tanks, and so you are dealing with climate-friendly stuff. You are doing a lot of good in the community. But we have gotten the illusion that NGOs should only finance non-governmental organizations. For me, priority for NGO, international NGO financing should go to SMEs, but they are not ready. They are not selling the solution they provide. We are selling our need instead of selling our impact. If we can package what we do as impactful, whether it is to employment, to youth, to agri, to environment, you can be able, most of the SMEs, the problem is we are very busy selling our need instead of selling our impact. And that is where the story changes. A lot of times I was very heartwarmed by one of my friends who is actually here today, but I'll not mention his or her name. But besides what they are doing as an SME, they have actually gotten a serious grant to do something which is close to what they like and what they are doing. And who said when the money comes, it could help the SME because they might pay staff through the grant, and the same staff are also working for the SME. So there are very many ways. There are very many ways of raising money, because when the money comes to the basket, of course you are going to be faithful to account, but there are some costs it will cut for you. And as an SME, you'll have a better relationship with the bank. If you get a grant of 1 million USD and it rests in your SME account, chances are that no bank would say no to you borrowing a 10 million of your own. So hang around, focus on dual fundraising. Fundraising for commercial and fundraising because you are doing a good thing to community. Finally, under that table, I would want to say join accelerator and incubator programs. To be viewed and to be visible is difficult. Sometimes you need to hang on the shoulders of giants for you to be seen. And this is where SMEs are cooking their queen cakes very privately in their private kitchen. Nobody knows what you are doing inside there. So nobody knows when you need money. Nobody will come to show you opportunities. Get out of there. Get out and show the world, while you are stepping on the shoulders of giants, what you are made of, the steel that you are made of. And finally, in 2 minutes, allow me to run through what are the requirements to qualify for the alternative. And I'll just be able to say them in a very quick way. So if you can give me attention for 2 minutes, I'll be done. Build a compelling story. Remember, I'm not saying business plan. Build a compelling story. Number 2, invest in corporate structure. People who give money, they like structure. Then, after you have a compelling story and you have a structure, now you can build a compelling case where you are selling the impact. You can have the business plan, and I gave an example. If you are in hardware business and you have sold 1,000 tanks last year, Don't say you sold 1,000 tanks of 10,000 liters. For heaven's sake, you helped people to conserve, is it 100 million liters of water last year through your business? So begin to look at how can you sell the impact of your business more than these numbers that are very plain and do not tell a story. Finally, I mean, number D, think what they will require and have it already in your business plan. So when you're doing your business plan, don't do a static business plan. Adjust your business plan based on the funder you are approaching. Then number E, get help professionals. We get help for tax, we get help for accounting, we get help for HR and legal, but we think we can raise money on our own. Please ask for help. It is okay to pay a little so that you can be helped to raise money correctly. And then begin early when you do not badly need the money, like I said at the beginning, and then tick all the boxes, what I said in number 1 under the banking. And that brings me to the end of the presentation. I'm open for question and answer. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Now, are you going to send those emojis for celebrating our speaker? Is it a clap? Just do what you do when you have enjoyed. Am I the only one who enjoyed? I really did. Let me hear questions, comments. This is your moment. I want to hear questions and comments. I can see the claps are many. Mika, Juguna, I see you. I see those claps. Yes, please keep them coming. Our speaker was great. So, questions and comments. And you can feel free, just raise your hand and speak. You can't have only one speaker speaking. We need to hear you speak. This is a free, in Kenya, we have more freedom of speech than many other people, right? Many other countries. So feel free to speak, utilize that freedom. Let me see, questions, comments, you can put them on the chat. Milka is asking, kindly list or mention the alternative funders you mentioned. Johnson, would you like to repeat that? I know you mentioned KDC. I know you mentioned Kiva. I know you mentioned Women Enterprise Fund. I think, did you mention AFC?
Yes.
Yeah. So yes. For Milka, please.
I'll do better than that. I will ask you share the notes as they are listed. But let me mention SACCOs. Actually, SACCOs are now a big source of alternative. I will specifically talk about Tower SACCO. Tower SACCO is very important. Please talk to them. I will mention Imarika SACCO. I will mention Stima SACCO. Those ones I think are very pro SMEs. Then when it comes to DFIs in Kenya, I'll mention AFC, KDC, KIE. I would mention Women Enterprise Fund. I will mention Youth Enterprise Fund. In Tanzania, I will mention TADB. I would mention leasing. I would mention PASS in Tanzania. If there is a Ugandan, there is the Development Bank of Uganda. But then there are other funders who are not DFIs, like Oiko Credit, Kiva, Jitengeme, Global Partners. But basically, I'm only mentioning them to whet your appetite because they are all there in the internet. As SMEs, we have just been held captive by the banks, but the opportunities are immense outside there. And then there are the non-governmental ones, and they're even USAID, where I used to work before. They actually have a guarantee mechanism that is being administered by very many banks. You know, I can remember one was being administered by I&M Bank for the SMEs. I don't know whether it is lapsed. There is another one with Coop Bank. These are conversations we can have ongoing, but they will be very available in the internet. I believe the idea of this talk is not is to provide catalytic thinking so that people desire to dig more. But should you need more, we are available, and Eunice will be sharing our contacts. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Johnson. I see a lot of questions coming in here. Some of them I will help you answer. Others I will let you answer. And one of them here is from Robert Mwenda. Kindly advise on some of the fundraising professionals one can approach for help on fundraising. I will help you answer this one. Robert, Nuru, as maybe you joined a little late, Nuru is a one-stop shop for professionals. So yes, you can find a fundraising professional, starting with Johnson himself. He's a professional fundraiser. So you're home. And after this, Priscilla will be sending you a message with the note. I believe you registered. So she'll send you an email with the notes that Johnson was speaking on. We have the notes. And after that, then you can actually ask whatever you need. We are available to help. Francisca Moy asked, Mr. Johnson, would you do a pro bono job for an SME serving the poorest of poor farmers in Mwea? I think I'll let you answer that, Johnson.
Francisca, tuongee nyuma ya tent.
Yes, again, I say, because Priscilla will be contacting you, I think she'll send you an email and a WhatsApp. Don't block her, engage her. She will be able to guide you and give you all what you need and see whether, Johnson is accessible depending on what you need. So, and I'll be telling you more on how you can engage further on that. Beatrice is asking, I was late in joining. Will you share the notes? Of course, we will share the notes, Beatrice. They'll be shared. Mugai, okay, sorry. Hillary, well done, Kipendu, my long time friend since our days in Maseno University in 1997. He had to put that. Great insights on alternative sources of funding, not pegged on one CRB status. Thank you so much, Hillary, for joining your classmates. And because of him, we are also your friend, Hillary, by extension. So, usitu hepe. All right.
By the way, you need to just mention,
yes.
Hillary will be very useful for anybody who is needing finance from Absa Bank. And so please take his contacts and harass him away from me. Sorry, Hillary, for selling you out.
Hillary, I'm asking for your contact. Johnson will send me your contacts. I will call you personally because we need to help these SMEs. Our work as Nuru is to support SMEs. If you go to our website is asknuru.com, and somebody can type that website. We only focus on accelerating SMEs. We want to help them accelerate. And I like what Johnson said. Some people have started business for legacy, basically lifestyle, for family, to leave it for the great grandchildren. Others start business to scale for growth. And this none is wrong or right. The thing is, you need to be clear on your objective. Now, if you are building business to scale, then Ask Nuru is the right place for you. Okay. If you're building for legacy, yes, we still support legacy businesses, but mostly the people who want to really scale their business. It doesn't mean that when you scale a business, you don't leave it for your great grandchildren. Actually, that's the best way to leave it for your great grandchildren. Shadrach Kalisa says an eye-opener in rapid changing business funding. Thanks, JK, for well-articulated presentation. Milka, I also need the contact for Hillary. Kindly, if you don't mind, I need to inquire about a product Absa has for women-led enterprises. Hillary, umesikia? We can actually share that, Milka. Yeah, so that we don't bombard Hillary with too many. Unless you allow us. Hillary, would you want to give permission? You can unmute and speak. I don't want to put you on the on the line. Hilary, would you like to say something? It's all right. I don't know whether she's still here. Anyway, so the next thing I want to share quickly, we have 15 minutes to go. No, not 15, 12. Huh? Oh, 17. Yeah, so in the next less than 10 minutes, I want to show you how you can engage with Nuru. As I said, the biggest, our commitment is to help you accelerate your business. So what next? I know you, and I can see the questions that are coming. And we've created a course. It's a very practical course to accelerate your fundraising. Remember what Johnson has said. You do not start raising money when you need it. You start raising money when you don't need it so that you can prepare for it. So if you, especially for alternative funding, you really need to prepare in advance. So we have a 5 days to accelerate your fundraising. Now, this will be practical, 1 hour, 1 to 1.5 hours per day for the 5 days, with starting at 10 to 11:30, and it starts on 19th to 23rd of August. Now, once we are done with the 5 days, we will have a physical graduation, and you will also pitch, because they are very practical. For example, when Johnson says you need a compelling story, you're going to create that compelling story. When he says you need a structure, you're going to create that structure. You're going to, to create that compelling case. And then on that day, we're going to invite the people like Hilary from APSA. We're going to invite other alternative financiers to come and listen to you pitch your business to these potential investors and bankers. And I want to ask a question. How many of you who are here who would like this? Please raise your hand or type in the chat. Actually, if you're interested in this kind of a course, type in the chat and say, yes, I am. Let me see whether there are chats coming. Anyone who would like to have this kind of a training, just every day, just committing 1.5 hours for your business to create your future fundraising for your business. How many do we have? I can see 3, 4. Keep them coming. All right. Great. This is great. So what is your investment? Because as Johnson has said, be willing to pay something. I don't know how many Christians we have here, but there's one man in the Bible called David and said, I cannot give God what does not cost me something. Now, I want you to think about it. You cannot give your business what does not cost you something. So it needs to cost you something, because when it costs you something, you take it very seriously. You demand value because you have paid for it. And because we want you to demand, this course is valued at 90,000 shillings, because we have people at the panel like Johnson and people like Francis Mungai, who is also a financial consultant. And I will be training you on pitching because I'm the sales trainer. And we are offering this at 10,000 shillings. Now, if you pay by midnight 17th, pay 8,500. And we will have a great week together. Just looking at your business, you will have, there's a lot of outcome when you start preparing your business for fundraising, because you put the right structures. You will start, you'll create the right story. If the story is not there already, you're going to start creating that story so that by the time you need the money, then it will be available. So that is my call to action. And another way you can engage in Nuru is become a member of Nuru. As I said, Nuru is a membership network. And we have annual membership fee is 20,500. What do you get with this annual membership fee? Number one, you have access to discounted professional services. Earlier on, I introduced all the professionals at Nuru. We have HR, we have legal, we have sales, we have marketing, we have strategy, we have fundraising. Yes, I hope I haven't left any. So you will have discounted pricing, access to these services. The number two thing, you will have access to customers through what we call referral marketing, where we exchange referrals. And then you will have access to what we call business therapy. And this, I'll give you a story. When we came together, the six of us, we discovered that we were all struggling in our own, we call them kiosks. And Johnson has said it so clearly. We Kenyans are so stuck with our kiosk that you think, that person who sells a kiosk, ukimwambia abomoe ajenge kubwa, inakuwa kazi mingi sana. So we came together and we realized we were all struggling in our own small businesses. And the beginning of this, we started with therapy. Therapy in this case was each of us sharing our stories, because entrepreneurs don't have a place where you share your pains and your successes and people celebrate you. When you tell your relatives that you've made some money, they start asking you for the money. But when you come and meet these entrepreneurs and you've made this year you did very well and they are celebrating, it becomes, it inspires you. When it is really down, you have a place to come and say, look, guys, I am not doing well. And then people, because they are professionals, and people are doing different business, we come and give business therapy. Sio ile psychotherapy, business therapy. It's very important. And the other thing is access to funding opportunities, because together we have numbers and we can do more. And finally, access to discounting training opportunities. So that is how you can engage with Nuru. And these are our contacts. Please feel free to give us a call. We will open your networks and help your business accelerate. Thank you very much, everybody. And that brings us to the end of our session, unless there are questions and comments. Okay, Stephanie is asking me to share the slide on pricing. Yes, here it is. Just a minute. Allow me to share for Stephanie this slide and for those others. So this, you mean this one, Stephanie? The one for the training, the fundraising, accelerate your fundraising training. As I said, the value for this course is 90,000 shillings, because to get 1 hour of this consultant, each one of them, you will pay them at least 15,000 per hour. But we're giving you this at 10,000 shillings. That is if you do not, 10,000 shillings. If you pay by 17th of August, it is 8,500. Let's help you prepare your business for money. And by the way, I'm speaking as one of the people who have raised money. My other business is called BSmart, and we've been able to raise venture capital, part of it from Germany and some more money from US. And so when I speak about fundraising, then I am a beneficiary of that. And what Johnson has said is what you need to do. The other slide is this one, the annual membership fee to become a Nuru member. 20,500. Once a year, we meet every week to have all this, the business therapy, to see what services you need, to see what referrals you need, all that. All right. Thank you very much. Anything else? Oscar is asking, is the cost per person or per organization? The cost for the course, the training is per person. The cost for membership is per business. Yes, per organization. Yes, we will share the course outline. Priscilla will be sharing the course outline and even more details on that. Yes. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. What a good day. What a good way to start a day. Can you clap for yourself for joining this morning? Clap for yourself for honoring yourself to educate yourself about fundraising. Thank you very much. Good day.